We have seen horrific reports of a U.S. missile hitting a girls' school in Iran. I recognize you are at CENTCOM, and this is not your AOR, but can you speak to the process that you at least have at EUCOM for developing targets, what type of protections you have? Based on what I've heard from reporting, the data that was looked at was a decade old, that any person who can get satellite access to Google Maps today can see that this was a school. New York Times had no problem getting that data and information for a report today. What do you intend to do at EUCOM to make sure your targeting is consistent with American values?
Yeah, Senator, thanks. You know, over the course of my career, I've, as a fighter pilot, I've always done everything I can to avoid civilian harm and civilian casualties. And I would tell you, I'm absolutely committed to that. I know the department is committed to that. And that when tragedies like this happen, it causes us all to reflect and try to improve our processes. I've been involved in the targeting process, both at the tactical and the operational levels throughout my career. And I would tell you, we do have a number of safeguards in the system. You know, every single time that at the tactical level I was going to release a weapon on a target, I was personally making an assessment as to whether there was any chance of civilian harm. And if there was that proportional to the military necessity of striking the target? At the operational level, both from my time in U.S. Central Command previously and then now at U.S. European Command, I can assure you that we have robust standards that we go through and look to see and update the imagery and update our understanding of the target and refresh the intelligence on a recurring basis to determine the chances of civilian harm and to address any collateral concerns that might be there. So you just know I'm absolutely committed to trying to mitigate that risk.
I appreciate your testimony. I'm highly concerned, however, that Secretary Hegseth does not agree with you. Secretary Hegseth has criticized rules of engagement designed to adhere to the laws of armed conflict and support civilian harm mitigation. Secretary Hegseth has also cut the Civilian Protection Center of Excellence by about 90%. Their mission was to help you and to help protect against civilian casualties. So how do these changes by Secretary Hegseth affect your mission, your judgment, and the responsibility that you take so seriously?
Senator, they have not affected my ability to prevent civilian harm in any way. It's embedded in the targeting process. It's embedded in the culture of U.S. European Command, and I would say in the culture of the U.S. military to try to avoid that civilian harm. So we're continuing to do the things that we have always done to comply with the law of armed conflict and ensure that we mitigate that risk.
Can you guess how we could have gotten this wrong in Iran?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
Can you guess how we could have gotten this wrong in Iran and targeted a children's school?
Ma'am, I would hesitate to speculate with any incident like this. There's, you know, I would just say there's usually a chain of errors and mistakes that happen similar to an aviation accident or some other transportation accident. And I would say we just need to let the investigation play out and find all those factors.